Good afternoon, fourth grade. We are going to continue reading in our Red Pyramid, Chapter 6. First, we're going to refresh our memory from Chapter 5 because it's been a while. So get ready to fill in these blanks. All right. It says Carter and Sadie visit Thoth at the University of Memphis. Thoth sends them on a mission to get something from a magician's tomb to help them defeat Set. Sadie and Carter pass Thoth's test, and he tells them to go down the river to the land of the dead to get the feather of truth from Anubis. While Anubis was talking to Sadie, he discovered that Set was his father. We also learned that Osiris was in Julius's body and that Set was holding Julius captive. This information convinced Anubis to give the feather of truth to Sadie. Press pause to write down your answers, or you can rewind it if you didn't get all the fill in the blanks. Our focus question for today is what are the themes of the text? And we're going to be talking about this all week long. Our vocabulary words are recreational. That's an activity that you do for fun. Ancestral, that has to do with your people in your family who are older than you, like your grandparents, great-grandparents. Those are your ancestors. And torrents, that is fast-moving water. All right. And so now we're going to use our CSPS strategy as we read Chapter 6. So open up your book to Chapter 6, and we are in these blue boxes. We're trying to figure out who our characters are, what they're doing, and where they're going. It says, we left New Orleans at 1 a.m. on December 28th, with about 24 hours until Set planned to destroy the world. Nat had promised us safe travel only to Memphis, so we decided it would be best to drive the rest of the way. Bast borrowed a FEMA trailer from Hurricane Katrina. With luck, we'd get to Phoenix just in time to challenge Set. As for the House of Life, all we could do was hope to avoid them while we did our job. Bast and Khufu took turns driving while Sadie and I dozed off and on. I didn't know baboons could drive recreational vehicles, but Khufu did okay. Alright, and then on the next page it says, over breakfast, we strategized how to defeat Set. Thoth said to look for Nephthys near a river. I have a plan for that. We'll have to make a stop, but it's on our way. Shouldn't cause much of a delay. The nearest river on our route is the Rio Grande in El Paso. That's about 15 hours from here. We'll have enough time to meet with Nephthys and get to Phoenix, if we don't have any more nasty surprises. Like the kind we have every day? Yes, like those. It would all be over in 24 hours, is what Carter is thinking. So we'll stop right here. We have our characters. We know Carter, Sadie, Bast, and Khufu are on their way to the Rio Grande to talk to Nephthys and get Set's secret name. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for a quote. You can use this quote from what Bast is saying about going to the Rio Grande, or you could use this saying about how they need to look for Nephthys. Press pause to write down your quote and play when you're ready for the setting. We know Carter and Sadie, all the characters are driving in a FEMA truck across the country from New Orleans to El Paso. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. You can use this quote about going to El Paso, or you can use this quote about how they were borrowing a FEMA trailer, and they're headed to Phoenix. All right, now we're going to listen for the problem. Turn the page. At the top of the next page, Carter's thoughts. 14 hours later, just before sunset, we reached the Rio Grande. Bass led us down the riverside. Arg! Khufu sniffed at the water and snarled. Khufu smells danger. It's probably just ancestral memory. The river was a dangerous place in Egypt. Snakes, hippos, crocodiles, all manner of deadly creatures. Crocodile? Does the Rio Grande have crocodiles? I very much doubt it. Now, Sadie, if you do the honors. Me? How? Just ask for Nephthys to appear. She was Isis's sister. If she's anywhere in this side of the Duat, she should hear your voice. I was doubtful, but I reached out and touched the water. Hello? Nephthys? Anyone home? Can you hear her? Just barely. Top of the next page. She says she can't appear in person, but that she'll send a message. She is sheltered far away inside a sleeping host? What's that supposed to mean? I'm sensing another press. Her voice is being drowned out. And then this huge crocodile fist jumps out of the water and hits Sadie. Khufu, tend to Sadie. Horace? Okay, turn the page. Looks like we might have a problem. The guy was 24 feet tall, and I don't mean with a glowing avatar. He was all flesh and blood. If that wasn't weird enough, he appeared to be sweating at an unbelievable rate. Oily water poured off him in torrents and pooled in the river. I was cautious of Khufu nearby, trying to get Sadie out of harm's way. I had to keep this green guy distracted at least until they were safe. That form doesn't serve you, Falcon God. I will snap you in half. Sobek, your duty is to the king. What king? Ra is gone. Osiris is dead again. The weakling, and Horus cannot restore the empire with this boy as his host. What brings you to my realm, cat goddess? I thought you didn't like the water. Okay, at the top of the next page. Traitor! Why did you side with Chaos? Arr! Set offers power. Set offers fresh meat. I think I will start with godling flesh. Let the boy go. Give me control, Carter. No, I'll die first. And I'm not ready for that. Roar. Okay, so our problem is that Sobek has appeared out of the Rio Grande, and he has sided with Set, and he wants to eat Carter. Sobek has appeared in the Rio Grande. He has sided with Set, and he wants to eat Carter. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for a quote. You could choose this quote that says Set offers power, Set offers fresh meat. I think I'll start with godling flesh. All right, and now we're going to keep reading. Turn the page to find the solution. Carter, you're alive! Don't sound so surprised. Okay, and they're like fighting. It was becoming more difficult to channel Horus's power, and the more we wounded Sobek, the more enraged and powerful he seemed to get. Bass' combat magic was faltering. I could see her avatar flickering from the strain of fighting such a powerful foe. You have made a grave mistake. coming to my realm. I am Lord of the water. My sweat creates the rivers of the world. Ew, remind me not to swim in any more rivers. You are distracted, godling. And then he punches him, and Carter falls way over here. Turn the page. They're still fighting. And Baz says, Carter, I will finish Sobek. Go, get Sadie to safety. My avatar form had protected me, but the impact had extinguished it. I can't leave her alone here. Go and tell your father I kept my promise. Baz leaped at Sobek. The two grappled, Baz slashing furiously across his face while Sobek howled in pain. The two gods toppled into the water and down they went. Baz, no! Khufu and I stared at the spot where Sobek and Baz had gone under. The river bubbled and frothed violently. I could only guess what kind of fight was going on beneath the surface. Top of the next page. Suddenly the water exploded. An object flew out of it. Muffin? Carter, Khufu, we have to get you to safety. Amos, you're back? Why do you sound surprised? Please board my boat. If we can get Sadie to a safe place quickly, she may yet have a slim chance of surviving. Alright, our second part of the problem is that Sadie was injured by Sobek, and we are unsure if she's going to survive. That's the second part of the problem, and you can write this quote down as well in that last box, what Amos is saying about her surviving. And we want to know how these two problems are solved. Well, Bast fought Sobek, and she has turned back into Muffin. So they're unsure. It is quite possible that Bast has died, and Muffin is actually just a cat now. She gave up her life so that Carter and Sadie could live. Okay, press pause to write that part down. Bast gave up her life so Carter and Sadie could live when she was fighting Sobek. Alright, and we know, and the quote you can write down is, Carter saying Muffin, and he's looking at her oh no. You see this green magic coming off of her. The next part of the solution is that Amos shows up with his boat, and he is trying to get Sadie to safety. And you can write down this quote also for the solution. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. How do Carter and Sadie respond to challenge? What does this reveal about each of their characters? Alright, and you're not going to have as much evidence for Sadie in this chapter, so you can cross that out. And you can just write, what does this reveal about his character?